Let's talk about some label reading basics. The claims that you see on labels, so if you're looking at calories, fat, fiber, sodium, and on the front if you see claims such as low fat versus reduced fat, low sodium versus reduced sodium, what does it all mean? So there are laws that say that you can't call a product low fat or low sodium unless it has a certain number of grams or milligrams per serving. For example, the legal definition of low sodium is 140 milligrams per serving or less for all products. Now, on the other hand, reduced sodium is a relative term. It means 25% less sodium than the original product. So for example, you could have a Campbell's regular tomato soup with 1,000 milligrams of sodium per serving and a reduced sodium soup with 750 milligrams of sodium per serving. You might think that because it says reduced sodium, that it's low sodium, but it still might be higher in sodium than low sodium, which would be less than 140 milligrams per serving. Generally, it's hard to find a lot of products that are below 140, but I look for the below 200 to 250 ballpark if possible. Same thing with low fat and reduced fat. There's a law that says that you can't call a product low fat unless it's 3 grams of fat per serving or less for all products. On the other hand, reduced fat means 25% less fat than the original product. Trans fat is the worst kind of fat, so ideally you want to look for products that have 0 trans fat or are trans fat free. With saturated fat, that's more and more evidence over the last 5 to 10 years seems to be showing us that saturated fat is not a big concern unless you have high cholesterol levels. The jury is still out on whether people with high cholesterol need to minimize saturated fat. But we definitely know that saturated fat is not half as bad as hydrogenated oils and trans fats, which is why butter is a better option than margarine. When you're looking at a food label, they all look the same. They all generally have calories and serving sizes on top, and then everything else that follows after that, such as total fat, saturated fat, carbohydrates, fiber, sodium. Looking at the serving size is important. A lot of people look at calories, but sometimes the calories are always per serving. And the serving size may be what you expect it to be, or it may be different. Sometimes when you're looking at beverages, such as iced teas, for example, and a single serving iced tea might say that it has 60 calories, but that it has 2 servings per bottle. Now, a lot of people might actually drink the entire bottle at one time, and so they might want to look more closely at the fine print to look at the serving size, because when they do, they might realize that even though it says 60 calories per serving, that the total calories in the entire bottle is 120 calories. So if you're looking at a food label, the things that I really like to look for are protein, fiber, and calories, and serving sizes also. But in general, if you're looking for foods that are filling, that are satisfying, and yet healthy, not too high in calories, then I generally look at the protein, fiber, and calories per serving and the serving size. The rule of thumb when you're looking at the ingredients list is the shorter the better. What that means is that it has more wholesome ingredients and fewer preservatives. If they are ingredients that you can actually pronounce, that's a bonus, because if they sound like chemicals, then they're probably preservatives.